Vvardenfell is one of Tamriel's most exotic lands, and wherever you find yourself on this vast island, you won't be far from something fascinating. But once you've been around for a while, you may get the urge to speed up your travels a bit. Unlike later and indeed earlier Elder Scrolls games as well, Morrowind lacks a map-based quick travel system. To make up for this, it introduced several lore-friendly mechanics to speed the player along on their journey. Some methods are fantasy staples, like ship travel or teleportation via the Mages Guild. Then there are the adorable oversized bugs known as Siltstriders, ferrying passengers across the landscape. Beyond these relatively conventional means, we're able to use magic in the form of spells, scrolls, and enchantments to call upon the power of the divines or Almsivi to pull us to their shrines. Even more versatile are the mark and recall effects from the School of Mysticism, letting you save a specific location to return to at will. But Morrowind has one more method that few encounter and even fewer attempt. Often found off the beaten path of Vvardenfell's wilderness are ancient strongholds, built thousands of years ago by the Chimer as great bastions against the frequent and devastating raids of Nords from Skyrim and Solstheim. The fortifications were so effective that even when the rest of Morrowind fell to Nordic rule, Vvardenfell stood strong and remained independent. The strongholds were only abandoned in Second Era 896, when the Tribunal signed the Armistice, bringing Morrowind into the Septim Empire. Wary of Tiber Septim's unquenchable thirst for power, the Tribunal declared the entire island as a religious preserve, under temple administration, and withdrew all forces save a small peacekeeping force. Were it not for that action, the strongholds might still be in use today. The effectiveness of the ancient strongholds was not wholly due to any brilliant tactical design, but rather the unusual system of magically linked confluences known as Propylons. 10 of Vvardenfell's 11 Propylon chambers remain functional to this day, with only Kogarun, seat of the Sixth House, being offline, and even that is due to deliberate action by the temple to prevent anything Dagothi from escaping. Each chamber has 2 nodes connecting to other strongholds. When taken as a whole system, they form a chain of waypoints circling the island. Like other teleportation methods, the travel is instantaneous. But unlike other teleportation methods, each of these nodes requires a magical key known as an index. You may have seen 1 or 2 laying around the world. They look like darker versions of soul gems, but they can be easily missed if you aren't specifically looking for them. Now that you know a bit more about one of Morrowind's more unique features, we're going on a field trip around the island to collect these 10 indexes in a reasonably efficient way. After that, we'll take a look at Bethesda's solution when they realized that hardly anyone knew about or could locate enough of the indexes to be useful. But I've carried on long enough. Let's get into it. Our journey today begins in the mining town of Caldera, just north of Balmora in the West Gash region. The local pawnbroker, a Redguard named Irgola, has an index available for sale. His shop is just a few doors down from the Mages Guild, making this index the easiest one to come across naturally.
Talk is free. What do you want?
You know it's a rough town when they have to keep armed security in the pawn shop. I wasn't gonna do anything funny. Story of my life. The index itself can be found on the windowsill of his shop if you're feeling ballsy, but it really is easier to just buy the index. Here we have the Hlormaren Index, meaning we can use any Propylons that connect to the stronghold at Hlormaren, namely Marandus and Andasreth, but not the chambers coming from Hlormaren. Just wanted to be clear. For our next destination, we need to head to the magic shop and spend ungodly sums of money on that sweet new Fallout set. Head to the Mages Guild and buy a one-way ticket to Vivek.
A visitor.
I'm listening.
What may I do for you?
Once we arrive, we need to make our way outside and head to the St. Olm's Canton Plaza. Now we're going to be doing quite a bit of levitating today, so instead of heading straight there, I'm gonna make a little detour first. We're heading down to the Temple District to activate the Shrine of Daring, so be sure to bring a store-bought Rising Force potion and cast Almsivi Intervention for a bit of a shortcut. Normally there's a lady selling Rising Force potions here, but she chimmed out of my safe, so I had to bring one from home. The shrine is back here in the corner and grants us an insane 100 points of levitation for 24 minutes. Now, we're off to St. Olm's and the temple located on the plaza. To get to our prize, we need to head through the door on the left side of the back wall, then follow the right side of the wall all the way around. Navigating interiors with full strength levitation may make you feel like a kitten on Balmora Blue, but at least you can outrun the guards. Behind this door is the western storeroom, and inside we'll find a rat. Not just a rat, but 2 rats. Okay, fine. There's also an index, expertly hiding between these 2 crates on the ground. This is the Marandus Index, which we'll be putting to use shortly. That's 2 out of 10 already, and the next one isn't that far away. We now need to make our way up towards Saran. With the blessings from the shrine, it's probably about as quick to fly there as it is to take the 1 game-hour Silt Strider trip. But why fly when you can ride? However you get to Saran, our next stop will be drastically simpler to reach with levitation. We're heading over the mountains and past the Foyata, due east to Telasero. You can't miss it, it's the giant ziggurat straight ahead. I will warn you, Telasero is a 6th house base, so be prepared to fight a few lesser ash holes. Thankfully, we aren't going all the way in, and this is the most difficult place we'll encounter today. Telasero is unusual in that it houses its own index, along with some other decent loot, so fight or run past the ash creatures, deal with the dreamers, and cripple the corpus victim. Then head down the ramp to the south, and through the door to the lower levels. There are a couple more dreamers in this room, but the main attraction is this open casket in the middle of the floor. Take your pick of the goodies, making sure to grab the index at the bottom, and potentially get attacked by one more ash creature before making your way back outside. With these 3 indexes, we can start making use of some of the Propylons. They're housed in these taller buildings on top of the strongholds, and are generally devoid of dangers, save for the occasional rat. Activate the Marandus Propylon, and with a peal of thunder, you'll find yourself confronted by a pair of rats. Once they're dealt with, activate the Hlormaren Propylon to be transported to the west side of the island, north of Balmora. This stronghold also holds an index, but this one will be much easier to acquire. Across the courtyard, in the Hlormaren Dome, on the left side of the room on this bookcase, will be the Andasreth Index. It is owned, however the slaves in here won't rat you out, even if they do vocally object to the crime. With index number 4 in hand, return to the chamber and take the other Propylon to the next node on the chain, Andasreth, just up the coast, past Ganar Mach. I recommend dropping a mark here in the chamber for easy return trips, as for our next index, we'll need to do a bit more legwork. We're heading north to the town of Nisus, actually passing over the next stronghold in the chain, Berandas, which has some interesting items of its own. And while we'll pass through there later, those treasures I mentioned are an adventure for another day. After arriving in Nisus, we need to make our way to the Velothi Tower, Arbstrelin, home of Tovani wizard Baladas Dimnavani. If it's your first time here, there's a trick to getting upstairs easily. Past the foyer door is the customary rat, a staple of Morrowind home decor. Following the path to the right, then up the ramp leads to a small bedroom with, you guessed it, another rat. More importantly, there's a key on the table marked Summoning Room. That's just what Baladas calls his man cave. Or mer cave, I guess. Backtrack to the hallway and go around the left side, all the way to the back, where a ramp will bring you upstairs to the top floor. He's got a Daedroth and a Dwemer Centurion in here, but all 3 of them are non-hostile, provided you don't provoke them, and quite dangerous if you do. The Berandas Index can be found between 2920 and some 40s on the bookshelf. It's unowned too, so Baladas won't mind you taking it. Why does it sound like the Centurion is vacuuming over there? Once you have the index number 5, head back outside however you like. The next 2 stops can be done in either order, so either head to the Silt Strider and catch a ride to Margon, or make your way out to the northeast and the Daedric ruins of Mael Kashishi. This stop will require levitation, and it isn't really a fun place to be walking around on foot anyway. When you get to the ruins, you'll have to travel up to the top of the tower. There we'll find a door leading into the Forbidden Galleries, so I guess I gotta try not to look around or I'll get in trouble or something? Entering the site here puts us out of reach of the Daedra below, but we need to go even higher to this ledge across from us. Up here will be a very unfortunate Skeleman with a very nice Daedric bow and arrows that we've covered before on the channel. More importantly for our quest today is the Falensarano Index sitting next to the scroll. That's 6 indexes, so let's keep going. On to Margon to the east. Our target is the large temple at the eastern end of town, and the index is sitting right out in the open too. Most people are a bit distracted by the Dremora standing in the corner, but if you check under the big rock, you'll see the Falasmaryon Index, but don't grab it yet. It is owned, and much like the first one, it's often simpler to just buy it. The owner is one Salen Ravel, located through the western hallway in the northern room, and he's totally fine with parting with the thing, for 500 septums at least. Time to recall back to Andasreth, then ride the lightning to Berandas, and then on to Falasmaryon, and then drop a mark. The next index is reasonably nearby, So head outside and northwest through the wasteland to the Ursulaku Ashlander camp. I don't know what they're putting in this levitation blessing, but it's some good shit. Index number 7 is with the wise woman, so be on your best behavior and go speak to the nice lady, who's absolutely essential to the main quest and should not be f***ed with. The index is on the table, but if you have any intention of being the chosen one, just buy it from her. They even gave us a 90% discount on this one, so no excuses. Now that we have the Valenvaryon Index, we can recall back to Falasmaryon and take the next jump in our journey. Or alternately, head due east from the Ursulaku camp and you'll find it just as quickly. This is Valenvaryon, and the various squatters here aren't big on company, but that's okay because we aren't sticking around. This place is just a waypoint, so continue east across the channel to the coast on the south of Vvardenfell and the stronghold of Rotheran. The inside of the stronghold can be brutal, as we found out with the Imperial Cult questline, but thankfully we're only going into the communal hut on top. Here we'll be attacked by Rolls Ieneth, who just so happens to be carrying the Rotheran Index himself, making our work even easier than usual. Head back outside to the Propylon chamber and drop a big ol' mark on the ground. We'll be coming back here, but the last index is a little ways off still. Casting Alm CV Intervention will bring you to the Temple of Voss to the southeast. There isn't much to this small village. Its primary job is provisioning the nearby tower of Tel Voss and offering meager services to the occasional traveler.
Outlander?
Speak to the boat lady and take the 4-hour trip down the coast to Telasero. From here, it's a short flight south to visit the oldest Dunmer around, the venerable Divaith Fear, in his shroom house, Tel Fear. Once inside the tower, we'll take the right path up to the Hall of Fear at the back. In here, we'll need to levitate up to the next level, where the Quadrimillennial spends his time. The final index is on the table behind him, and he doesn't care if you take it. He actually doesn't even know what it is, despite being over 3,600 years old when it was last used. Now that we have the final index, we can recall to Rotheran and finish our circuit. There's one more thing I need to show you. From Rotheran, we travel to Indoranyon, then Falensarano, then back to Telasero. Now we'll take one more trip to Marandus, where we'll be close enough to Balmora to cast Alm CV Intervention. Once we arrive in Balmora, we need to make our way north, back to Caldera, where we started the day. The Mages Guild, of course, offers a direct connection, but I have enough levitation left to make it on my own, which is great. But I think I've reached that point where you're ready to come down just because the trip has been intense for a while now. Once we're back at Wizard 101, we just need to head upstairs to that guy who always refuses you service because you're a noob. Bethesda granted him the power of the plugin, with their Master Index official plugin, still available to download, link in the description. This adds a quest to lead you to all 10 indexes. Indices? Little late to change it now, I guess. Anyway, this is Fulm's Mural. He'll give you clues to each index and pay you 500 gold for each one. Once you've given him all 10, he'll issue you a Master Index, allowing you to move between each stronghold and this very spot, but not between the strongholds themselves. It is a bit of a trade-off, as it actually makes the Propylons convenient to access from the Mages Guild network. And unlike other travel mechanics, you can still use Mural's services after becoming a vampire. The downsides are a bit more niche. For example, if you were hoping to use the Propylon network for the Silent Pilgrimage, you can only use the Master Index as far as Caldera, due to needing to speak to Mural to activate it. Even more niche, if you're particularly hated by the Mages Guild, or happen to kill Mural, you're stuck with the useless rock. For most playthroughs, however, it's generally more helpful to get the Master Index, but maybe do the Tribunal Temple quest first. And that's gonna do it for our look at the surprisingly useful Propylon network of Morrowind. As always, if you enjoyed this video, leave us a like or a comment, and subscribe for more. Huge thanks to our channel members for their ongoing support, and thank you for watching. I've been GetShiver, and I'll see you in the next one. Later!